In days when the sun's light veiled the earth and shadows stretched long, a man came to the borderlands. His name was unknown, for he bore many, and none could hold him. He was as a reed in the wind, bending but never breaking, his presence both a comfort and a warning. He moved among the people as one of their own, yet none could say whence he came or whither he went. His eyes were deep as the wells of Bashan. His voice, when he chose to speak, was like low thunder. He was tall, broad of shoulder, and his hands bore the scars of many labors. In towns, he wore fine linen and wool, his cloak edged with silver thread, his boots polished. His manner was refined, his words chosen with care. Merchants and elders found in him wisdom and subtle wit. Yet when he wandered the wild places, his raiment grew ragged, his beard unkempt, his eyes hawk-like. He was as to men in one body, the civilized and the savage, the adorned and the worn. Women beheld him, and their hearts stirred with longing, for he was fair of face and strong of limb. His laughter was like cool water on a parched day. Men respected him for his strength and skill. His counsel, when given, was as a lamp in darkness. Yet he was alone, always alone. None could draw near to the secret places of his heart. He trusted only in himself. His soul was as a stone, unmoved by prayer or praise. He did good when it pleased him. He took what he desired when the mood struck, but never killed save in justice. His mother had died when he was a child. Of his father he knew nothing, nor did he care. He was a man self-made, forged in the fires of solitude and necessity. His conscience his only guide. A voice stirred in his heart, gentle as the breeze, yet he heeded it not, thinking it his own mind. It came to pass that he entered a village on the edge of the wild, where fields met forest. The night was thick with fear. The people were gaunt and hollow-eyed, their voices hushed. Livestock had vanished, and some among them had disappeared into the darkness, never to return. The elders gathered, their faces drawn, speaking of a creature that stalked the outskirts, a beast unseen, but whose presence was felt in the trembling earth and the silence of the night. They offered him silver and bread, a place by the fire, if he would stand between them and terror. He listened, his face impassive, and though he scoffed at their fear, a flicker of pity stirred within him. He accepted their charge, not for coin, but for the weak and helpless, though he would not admit it, for in his soul, he could not bear to see the innocent suffer, though he cloaked his compassion in indifference. Night after night, he walked the borders of the village, his senses keen, his sword at his side. The moon cast pale shadows, and the wind carried the scent of fear. He studied tracks in the mud, broken branches, tufts of fur caught on thorn and bramble. His mind, sharp as a blade, pieced together the pattern of the attacks. He moved with a grace more than human, his footsteps silent, seeing what others could not. He felt the creature's presence before it revealed itself, a hidden sense guiding him. The villagers watched him from behind shuttered windows, whispering prayers to gods old and new. Some doubted, some hoped, but all feared the coming of the night. He felt their eyes upon him, their need pressing against his solitude, and he resented it, for he was a man apart, yet not immune to the longing for belonging, the ache for a place to rest his weary soul. As days passed, the sense of being watched grew stronger. He felt a presence in the darkness, a mind not unlike his own, hungry, restless, alone. At times, he heard a voice, soft as a sigh, calling to him from the shadows. He shook it off, refusing to heed the summons. His origin was a closed book, and he would not open it, lest he find something he could not bear. Yet the call persisted, a whisper at the edge of hearing, a tug at the root of his being. He pressed on, his resolve hardening, his pride a shield against the unknown. He was his own master, and no voice divine or damned would sway him from his path. On the seventh night, when the moon was a pale coin and the air thick with mist, he found the creature. It waited at the edge of the forest, its form half hidden by shadow, its eyes burning with a feral light. It was larger than any beast, its limbs twisted, its flesh marked by scars and old wounds. Yet in its face, distorted though it was, he saw a reflection of himself, a kinship deeper than blood. As he stepped into the clearing, the creature rose to meet him, its movements graceful and grotesque. He felt its thoughts brush against his own, wild and desperate, filled with hunger and fear and loneliness. He knew its mind as he knew his own, its pain, its longing, its rage. Their hearts beat in unison. For a moment, time stood still, and the world was reduced to the space between them, a space charged with recognition, with sorrow, with the terrible weight of destiny. He raised his sword, and the creature mirrored his motion, as if compelled by the same unseen hand. They circled one another, each searching for weakness, each unwilling to strike the first blow. The battle, when it came, was swift and brutal, a dance of strength and skill, of fury and restraint. Blades flashed, claws raked, blood was spilled. Yet beneath the violence, there was a tenderness, a reluctance to destroy what was, in some mysterious way, a part of himself. He fought not to kill, but to subdue, to save the creature from itself, and perhaps to save himself. But the creature, corrupted by solitude and suffering, could not be tamed. It struck with a force born of desperation, and he was forced to answer in kind. With a cry that was both a lament and a battle cry, he drove his blade home. The creature fell, its eyes locked on his, its final breath a whisper of recognition. In that moment, he felt its last thoughts flood his mind, a torrent of memories, longing, regret. He knew, with certainty, he had slain his own kin, the last of his kind, save himself. The night was still, the mist clung to the earth, and the stars watched in silent witness. He stood over the body, his sword stained with blood, his heart heavy with a grief he could not name. The villagers would be safe, but he felt no triumph, no relief, only emptiness, and the echo of a question. Who am I? What am I? Why did I feel its mind as my own? Why did it feel like killing a part of myself? He turned from the clearing, his steps slow. The world seemed changed, boundaries blurred, certainties dissolved in blood and sorrow. As he walked away, the voice that had haunted him spoke again, not as a command, but a whisper, soft and persistent, like the wind in the barley. He could not tell if it was God, or his conscience, or the ghost of the creature he had slain. It was a voice both familiar and strange, a call to something beyond himself, a summons to seek what he had always refused to seek, the truth of his origin, the meaning of his existence, the possibility of redemption. He walked on, unsettled, confused, no longer certain of who he was or where he belonged. The road stretched before him, empty and unknown, and the whisper followed, patient and unyielding. As the dawn broke over the land,